Well, hello and welcome to Restore Live on a Thursday evening. And yeah, the numbers are going up. And we're here for a reason this evening. We don't normally come along on a Thursday evening. But for those of you who would have spent last night with us, just leave it into the live chat. I mean, if you enjoyed what was happening last night, please leave your messages in the live chat. And then we'll go on to tell you what has happened as a result of the broadcast that we done last night. And seemingly, you're not allowed to stand. I don't know what it is. Is it stand on the side of veterans, perhaps, or maybe that you're not allowed to support British unionism, or maybe that you're not allowed to disagree with some things that is happening in our country. You're not allowed to actually question things. And what do I mean? Well, let me show you. Yeah, I mean, there's Jackie. Jackie's just saying it was that last night was brilliant, and and going by the comments that we got last night, well, you would have seen that a lot of people actually thought the same. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to pop up a little picture. I'll just really see go back into the live chat. Richard was very interesting to listen to. Well, there you go. There's someone else who's actually commented, and they enjoyed also last night. So let me show you what is happening to yourselves. And there's Carl Porter. Yes, last night's stream was actually excellent. Now, let me ask another question before I pop this up. I mean, in any way, were we promoting terrorism? Were we promoting, or were we acting as if that we were, I don't know, a terrorist organization or anything? In any way, were we doing that? Again, if you would like to leave the messages in the live chat to the people that watched our stream last night, I mean, is that how that things came across to you? As if that we were in some way, shape, or fashion promoting, I guess, terrorism? I mean, I don't think that anyone said no way. Yeah, I mean, there's Jackie again has said that no way. And again, I would like for people just to leave it a complaint. Yes, everybody's actually waiting for it. So, yeah, absolutely. Well, in saying a complaint, you see, I mean, I personally have. I mean, there's Mervyn Campbell. Last night's show was a good show, and in no way, shape, or fashion did we say anything wrong. Did we promote terrorism? Did we look as if that we were, trying to promote some sort of terrorist organization? Carl Porter, there again, definitely not. It was only our side of the story. But look, there's Lindy Cole Alexander that would have says that it was only our side of the story that we were actually promoting. And, like everyone else here in Northern Ireland right now, I mean, we look at the one-sided justice system, and what you can see is that while some people are getting justice, then what is actually, is it when one side's getting justice and others actually aren't? Well, is it now coming to the point where we're not actually allowed to question these things? We're not actually allowed to say what we see is wrong. We're not allowed to point out corruption. We're not allowed to question things. If we're British Unionists, okay. So again, last night's show was very informative. Excellent show. Some don't want the truth. There's Robert Kelly. Excellent show. Some don't want the truth to be told. We were open and honest as usual. There's Jim Werner again. Now, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to show you a picture. Now, this is the second time within a week that this has happened to me. And I keep saying to people that I think that my time on social media is my time is actually limited. My time on social media would be numbered because, the various social media platforms are literally leading an attack on myself, and they're putting all sorts of obstructions in the way. And let me just show you a picture. I'm just going to go to what Hank has said here. Is John, what you were talking about, we've promoted nothing to do with terrorism. Well, that's absolutely the fact, Hank, and that is the fact about last night. So let me just show everyone a little picture, and we'll read through it, and then what we'll do is we'll try to dissect what it was that a social media giant is actually saying. All right. So, hi Restore UK, this is from YouTube. We wanted to let you know that our team reviewed your content and we think it violates our violent criminal organisations policy. We know you may not have realised this was a violation of our policies, so we're not applying a strike to your channel. However, we've removed the following content from your YouTube. Now, what was it they called it? They called our content, let me just get it here. I'm just going to remove Hank's comment. So the Belfast Agreement, it was a disguise. It was built for appeasement, swindle and lies. Now, I wonder, is it that they think is violent criminal organisations policy? And we think it violates our violent criminal organisations policy. So what are they saying? Are they saying that we are promoting violent criminal organisation? And what were we talking about last night? We were talking about the veterans. We were talking about I personally was actually saying, I'm just going to remove this before they go on. Bear with me. Just going to remove that picture. So, I personally was saying that have I been misreading things ever since I've been a child? Richard had said, did the British government or did the British Army come here? Did they, kill loads of innocent people, put them all in body bags and move back to England again? This is the sort of thing that you would think that did actually happen if you listen to what's going on in the media. Is it the fact that we are standing on the side of veterans? Is it the fact that we are questioning what was happening in terms of this Ballymurphy situation? I'm going to use that term because we'll come back to that in a moment. Some people are calling it a massacre, and we hope to do a stream next week. And what we're going to do is we're going to lay out the events of that day, and we're going to show people in a conclusive way what a massacre actually is, and then we'll examine what a massacre is. The Shankill bomb was a massacre where 9 innocent men, women, and children were brutally slaughtered by the IRA terrorists. That's what a massacre was. The Enniskillen bomb was a massacre. They were massacres. Le Mans was a massacre. Bloody Friday was a massacre. Now, what we're going to do is that we're going to get the definition sometime next week, and we're going to show people what a massacre actually is, and then we're going to lay out the what happened in Ballymurphy and other places, by the way. And then what we'll do is we'll lay that out and we'll set that aside, what a massacre is, and we'll show you in a conclusive way, what a massacre was against what a massacre was not. And we'll lay that out for next week. Now, are we allowed to say that? Are we not allowed to say that? Are we not allowed to question things? Are we not allowed to point out that the mainstream media are corrupt? Are we not allowed to point out that the mainstream media is full of activists that detests British unionism, that detests anything British, and that are maliciously stirring up and stoking up tensions, and in a way that seeks to demonize and diminish anything British and also British unionism. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play another little video whilst we're here, and I would like you to listen very, very carefully to these words. So just to recap, is that we've been accused of, let me again pop this up because I find this hard to believe. I find this really, really hard to believe, but there it is anyway. We've been accused of, they said that we think that the content of what we did last night, it violates our violent criminal organisations policy. I just don't know what that means. Violent criminal organisations. Are they saying that we were promoting a violent criminal organisation? Is that the British Army that they're talking about? Is that who YouTube are actually talking about? And then they remove our video from YouTube. I find that hard to believe. Now, today, like what happened last week, they took a video down also. Now, okay, last week may have been Fair Cop, whereby that we did actually post a comedian that was on RTE, and he was taking the piss out of Jerry Adams. if you can remember that. And they says that RTE raised a copyright strike against it. But for to say that what we did last night was to, in any way, shape, or form, promote a violent organisation's content, I wonder who they're talking about. I just wonder. Now, then I go and I went to follow the link to question this and to raise an objection to what happened, and it went to a dead link, and that's what happened actually last week too. So is this the way? Is this the way of the world now? Is this the way in which the British Unionists here in Northern Ireland, for actually standing up for Britishness, for questioning things, and for being able to articulate what the reasons for that questioning is this what's going to happen? Are we going to be not afforded a platform on YouTube and on Facebook? Is that the way that things are going to actually turn out? Because we did see that happening to some English nationalists actually last year and the year before. And we already also seen that happening to some Irish nationalists in the South. And are we now being subjected to the same type of discrimination? Because that's what it is. It is pure and outright discrimination against those that would call themselves British Unionists, actually living in Northern Ireland, and who are prepared to actually question things. So, there's a maybe it's because you don't rewrite history. Well, I would probably say, we're not following the narrative that this crowd wants us to follow. Probably. So there's Isabel Montgomery actually said, so was Darkley a massacre, which is absolutely right. So was Kings Mills. There are many massacres and where people will never ever get justice, and yet that there seems to be a one-sided justice system in this country, and if you go to question it, well, you may be banned from social media. So what I want to do at this stage is I just want to let you hear something. Now, listen very, very carefully to this little voice clip, and I want you to listen really carefully to the words of this man, this destabilizer who would be using the BBC, the public broadcaster, to promote his activism, to promote his hatred of Britishness. Let's let you hear it, and then you can make your own decision on what this man actually said.
The British government has not said sorry. And for those of you who are British, consider yourselves British in this country, your government your government's forces shot these innocent people.
So if you listen to Mr. Nolan there, for those of you who are British, your British government shot, your British government's forces shot those innocent people. Your British government done that. That's what Nolan said. And then you hear them stirring up things today. Constantly on that media, all we have seen is the concerted effort to place Boris Johnson behind the 8-ball in order that he would apologise, and they're telling him how that it is that he actually has to apologise. And yet the Secretary of State for Northern Ireland, he made an apology. So as I say, next week, we're not staying here for long this evening. We just wanted to point out a few things. Now, just listen to Mr. Nolan again, just one more time, and see what it says here. It says, Nolan stirring and stoking divisions. The BBC, the British broadcaster, the people on there, the activists in the media, the activists in the mainstream media who have an axe to grind, they say that your British government shot. Their forces shot those innocent people. It was your British government that done that. This is what Nolan said.
But the British government has not said sorry. And for those of you who are British, consider yourselves British in this country, your government shot, your government's forces shot these innocent people.
There we go. There we go. That's Mr. Nolan. That's the activist in the media who is using his platform. And then we listen to the other character, Crawley, today. And you know, he's exactly the same. And they never change. So again, there's a message. There's a very, very serious message to be taken out of this. And we'll go to the live chat in a moment. Is that we either need to stand together to stand against this type of thing. And I mean together, I mean British unionism. And, you know, as in the words of the poem that Jim Verner wrote and that I finished, and some of the words that I would have wrote at the very, very end was that, you know, an army of the people needs to be put together with weapons of words that will remain and abide forever. And you know, I think that's what we need to do. And we need to have that army of people actually standing up against these people, going toe to toe with these people, defending, protecting, and enhancing who that it is we are in a meaningful, proactive way. You see, that's what's happening. Now, tomorrow we here in Northern Ireland, we have an election process from within the DUP. And then we have the UUP. They'll be, Doug Beattie, it looks as if that he's going to be the new leader unopposed. And we did hear Doug Beattie just a few days ago. We heard him say that he doesn't believe Ulster Scots as a language. He believes that it's a dialect. Now, I mean, that's, I would say, totally offensive to the people that speak Ulster Scots. I mean, some people think that Ulster Scots is just a few different words. It's maybe a different type of dialect whereby that they speak a wee bit different than us. But, you know, if someone speaks in an Ulster Scots tongue, you'd find it hard to actually recognise some of the words that they say. Yes, we do know the common words like shuck and fernenced and things like that. And we know those type of words. But some of the words that is used, if you hear them going for it properly, well, Doug Beattie would actually find that Ulster Scots is far from a dialect. Ulster Scots is actually a living tongue, a living language, which has been taught down throughout the centuries, up on the north coast, in and around Ballymoney specifically, and other parts of Northern Ireland. There are families that has passed this tongue down throughout the generations. And that's why I wanted to play what I played at the very, very start of the screen. And for the people that actually wasn't on this screen at the start, I'm going to play this again just for a moment, and it's to do with our centenary. But, you know, Doug Beattie, he says that Ulster Scots is a dialect. Now, there's a lot of people actually think that, but, you know, I would like, in fact, what we're going to do is we'll bring some Ulster Scots people on here, and we chat with them, and we get to show people that there are a lot of people that have been influenced from Ulster Scots. I mean, you know, although that I came from the Shankill Road in Belfast, I can remember my parents and some of my family, the older folk, using particular words that I would actually hear from within the Ulster Scots fraternity. So for those of you that weren't around at the very start of this screen, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to play this again one more time. So there you go. The man that's taken over the party of Carson, the man that's taken over the Ulster Unionist Party, well, he said, and I quote, that Ulster Scots is a dialect, Ulster Scots isn't a language. And what we'll do is we'll cut that clip also, and we'll play it. So there you go. There's where the Ulster Unionist Party are going. They're going in a way, in a direction whereby that they're trying to defeat the good Ulster Scots people of Northern Ireland, who it'll show you in the video there that they've reached out in different places around the world, and they've actually helped build those places. So there's where the Ulster Unionist Party are actually going under Doug Beattie's watch. So people, look, again, it didn't come to stay very, very long. It came to actually show you how that it is that the social media platforms are actually treating us. That they're saying that we wanted to let you know that our team reviewed your content, our team, so specifically people or a person, and we think it violates our violent criminal organisations policy. So we did call that feed last night the Belfast Agreement. It was a disguise. It was built for appeasement, swindle and lies. Now that is absolute fact. That is absolute fact what we said in terms of that title. And everything that we talked about last night, it can be backed up by evidence. I wonder, was it the fact that we were showing you remember the Derry Brigade? Maybe that's what it was. Maybe that we were saying the Derry Brigade of the, and I'll not say it just in case the algorithms pick it up, because we were talking about, you remember Martina Anderson and co, and how that the SDLP had caught them just a few years ago. And these are the pictures. The SDLP had caught them in 2017. And as Mr. Durgan said, he was aware of at least 20 cases where people said that their vote had been stolen when they turned up to cast their ballot. So Mr. Mark Durgan lost his foil election to Sinn Féin's Alicia McCallion by just 169 votes. So maybe that's what it was. Maybe it's because I called it the Derry, and I'll not say it, just in case that they pick up on it again. Maybe that's what it was. Anyway, so what we're going, but the trouble with it is there's a dead link, and we can't actually have the video put back up again. So we're all in the position whereby that we have to be very, very careful what we say on these channels, because if you're if you're British Unionists, if you are British Unionists, I mean we've had huge problems on the Mark Zuckerberg channel here. We've really had problems, and yet we've managed to get around them. We've managed to continue to broadcast. But I think that if some people had their way, we wouldn't be here. But we were very, very careful about what we say and how that it is that we actually say it. So people, here's what I'm going to ask you. So I'm going to ask people again. Now, again, this isn't, I know that a lot of people it's actually helped us. And this isn't me saying to people that you need to or you have to. I'm just saying that what we are going to have to do is we're going to have to build an independent platform. We really are. We're going to need to do it in a way that what we can do is that we can produce our own content, and we can post our own content, and then people can take that content from where it is and they can actually spread it around these, the different social media platforms, because, it's going to come a day where we're not going to be able to do this here. So the IRA sent the children and the woman onto the streets for cover. That was never been said. Absolutely. Again, we'll second that, and that happens. No, Jackie, we're not actually stopping the show. We're not stopping the show, but the writing is on the wall with us, because I know that we'll continue to do the right thing. I know that we'll continue to say the right things. I'm thinking that what is actually happening is that if you're challenging things that some people in social media land don't want you to challenge, and even, we did hear just a few weeks ago that our own PSNI, they're in contact with the social media platforms, and what they're picking and choosing who should be thrown off social media. So it may come a day when we are not here, but what we will do is that we continue to post to, let's just say, an independent channel, and we'll continue. What it would do to us is that it would make us go and do more outside interviews. It would go and make us actually, do vox pops and actually work harder and work tirelessly to ensure that what we do is that we expose absolutely all that is going on. So I'm just looking back in where we see the British government are not talking for me, nor is any unionist politician, nor is it the LCC after today's interview. I'll just put this up. The British government are not talking for me, nor is any unionist politician, nor is the LCC after today's interview on Radio Ulster, who is speaking for true unionism and loyalism. Nolan even called the British Army gunmen. Do you know, like, I mean, it beggars belief, Wilson. It really, really does. You know, it's totally bang out of order. And again, I'm just going to play what Nolan said again. Just listen.
The British government has not said sorry. And for those of you who are British, consider yourselves British in this country, your government's forces shot these innocent people.
Now, let's remind ourselves that there was a 3-day gun battle. I mean, today I've seen pictures of the bullet holes on houses and flats in Spring Martin. And, you know, they didn't do that themselves. I mean, that came from the Nationalist Republican side of the fence. And there was a three-day gun battle. And as I say, we're going to do a stream next week. And we're going to do something that I guess that nobody else is going to do. And there are people working on it right now. And what they're going to do is they're going to put together the information. And we're going to show people actually what happened over a 3-day period. And we're going to show people exactly what a massacre is and how that it is that Ballymurphy, so-called, could never be termed a massacre. So watch this space for next week. And, you know, again, I'm asking people to invite people to Restore UK, invite people to the British Unionist People's Voice, you know, tag people into our, and I like what you've done, Bob, there. I mean, you've tagged a man there, which is good. Which is, I mean, that's the way to do things, and share out to different people and different platforms, and get as many people here to listen to what it is that we're actually telling you, because we have a lot of smart people working in the background. I mean, you see, for example, a person that we've known for a very, very long time last night on our screen, and a man that's a very smart fellow. And a man that's a great speaker, and you seen him last night, Richard. He was on our stream last night, and yeah, I mean, with the help of people that we know, what we can do is that we can actually put together the truth, and we can show the truth in a conclusive way, in a way that if anyone wants to argue with it, well, that be my guest is all that we can actually say. So look, again, what I'm going to do here, people, I'm going to pop up something here on our screen. And then we'll go to, and I'm going to pop this up on our screen right now. There's a little link. That's a little link to a button where you could help us out. You can PayPal us. And what you can do right now, what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to build an independent platform. And we've been talking to some of the people in the background, and with your help, we've managed to get together, and we've managed to purchase some dainty things that we can actually use to do broadcasts. We can actually use to do recordings. And, you know, again, what we want to do is we want to become more professional. We want to, you know, do this properly. We want to be looking like, if we hit the streets, a real film crew, you know, where we need the equipment that others would use. And, you know, I mean, we're not afraid to, and we will actually go out, and we'll, you know, we could be doing surveys. We could be doing, you know, like polls, you know, like those in the left wing do. They engineer their polls to make it look as if everyone's supporting this new Ireland, when the fact of the matter is they're actually not. You know, who remembers the Belfast Agreement back in that day, that they were telling you that everyone voted for it, but everyone that you asked, I mean, I couldn't find anybody that did vote for it, apart from the usual suspects. So, you know, we can be actually on top of things, and what we can be doing is that we can be doing what they're doing. We can be playing them at their own game, and we can be producing polls. And we can be asking people what their views are, and we can be doing this constantly. So we can. And we've got a good team to be able to do it. So Again, there's a link on the screen there. And again, it's not a beg and borrow. Look, if you can't afford it, don't do it. And I mean that sincerely. We continue to fund things in a way that we do ourselves. But if anyone can help us, or if you can share that to some of your friends, some of your family, and and look, what other channel is doing what we're doing right now? We're the pioneer at this type of thing within British Unionism here in Northern Ireland, and we do work with people right around the United Kingdom. We work with Rich Politics in Wales. We work with Turning Point UK in England, and we also, I mean, we work with the Force for Good in Scotland. And these are the people that we can go to and that we can talk about what happens in these different places at any given time. And also, we have forged links right around the Northern Ireland here with lots of different people who have given us their absolute support to be able to do what it is that we need to do, and to continue to work in a way that the history will not and cannot be rewritten by the terrorists and their friends, their activist friends in the mainstream media. So, again, if you think that we do a good job, if you think that we do a good job, please help us out. Please help us out and try to ensure that we're going to be here, that we're going to be able to put together an army of people, and we're going to be able to give those people weapons of words which will be useful and which will remain and abide forever, because that's what we need within British Unionism. We need an army of people that are capable of taking these people to task, standing up against your Mr. Nolans of today, standing up against these people who would seek nothing more other than to destroy British Unionism here in Northern Ireland, and also, by extension, they want to destroy anything British and our links with the United Kingdom, and they're wanting to completely demonize and diminish the veterans, those that would give themselves to fight tirelessly to ensure that people here in Northern Ireland, that they weren't actually overrun by terrorism. They gave themselves to stand between, or to stand in front of, what often was live fire. A lot of those people lost their lives. And they worked tirelessly for us, and isn't it time that we stood with them and we stood on their side to ensure that their name, their good name, wouldn't be trailed into the mud? And we're not going to take any lectures by a terrorist organisation who is agitating all of this from the background. So, Wilson, why are you not standing for elections somewhere next year? We need to stand up to bring this circus down. I'm going to say something to you, is that, that for a few years now, I have been, quite a few years actually, I've been working in the background with a lot of people. I've been trying to help forge the circumstances whereby that people could come together. I mean, Unionist unity is a big thing that we've tried to put together. We have many good friends right around Northern Ireland and England and Scotland and Wales, also in Southern Ireland. We have people from the nationalist background here in Northern Ireland that think the same as us, that have more in common with British Unionism than they have with their own people. So yeah, I mean, I'm going to say never ever say never, but right now I think that our time is better spent actually providing this backup, because I believe that our unionist politicians, if they're going to be worth their salt, and we're sitting on the cusp right now of some people potentially doing the right thing. Now, I can't really go into too much right now, but hopefully by next week, what we will be able to do is that we'll be able to show you some of the links that we actually have forged, and maybe what we will be able to do and be able to announce is that we're going to try to take things in a completely different way. And I'm just hoping that some people that has responded to me, I'm just hoping that they're good. They're as good as the word that they've given. Because right now we all need as many friends as humanly possible, and we all need people to stand with each other and for and behalf of the people right around Northern Ireland. So I'm just going to pop this up. So a friend of Jim's has just received a 30-day ban for showing a picture of the man who says he was never in the IRA. He sent me this. I love you talking, letting everyone know what's going on. There you go. Thank you very much, Jim. Thank you for putting that out. He didn't say anything about there you go. He didn't say anything about the IRA murdering the brother of Mr. Taggart, 15 with the mental age. Yep, absolutely. And again, these are the things, Robert, that we are going to tease out. I mean, with some people right now working on putting something together, and we're going to come back and we're going to show you what an actual massacre is, and we're going to show you and lay out bare why that it is that Ballymurphy wasn't actually a massacre, and why that it is that this is being enhanced in a way that it actually didn't take place. I mean, what they're doing is they're rewriting out of the history the 3-day gun battle completely. They're rewriting out of the history the fact that there were many buildings in Spring Martin peppered with gunfire. They're rewriting a lot of things out of that history, and we can only assume that well, we can't get into casting aspersions, let's just say, but we're going to lay things out in a way like we normally do, and we'll show people what happened in and around that time. So, I mean, that's something to look forward to next week. I would like John, there you are. I would like John Ross of Shankill Road, ex-Power, to appear and be interviewed. Like, John's a friend of mine. I've stood alongside John on many occasions. I've spoken at a veterans rally with John, and I've also, I mean, we helped run veterans rallies in support of the veterans, the Operation Banner veterans, and we've done that because that we seen that they were being unfairly treated. We seen that those people they gave themselves to stand between warring factions in order to ensure that this country didn't end up in turmoil, and we just felt that they were being unfairly treated. We felt that whilst the IRA have effectively immunity from prosecution, and no one seemingly wants to do anything against them. And next week, what we'll do is that we're going to bring on some video clips of people actually telling you what they done. They've never been arrested for it before. And we'll play these video clips where these people have admitted that they've actually committed some of the most heinous crimes known to man. And yet these people, we do know that someone reported it to the PSNI, and never has these people been arrested or charged or even questioned about these heinous acts. And yet this one-sided justice continues to happen, which makes people feel very, very aggrieved. And, that's not the way to build stability. That's not the way to forge reconciliation. That's the way to have the opposite of that which they say that they want. What that does is that drives people apart. That makes people feel that they are second-class citizens, that they are being discriminated against, that they don't have the same justice system that is afforded to others, and that is totally unacceptable. So again, all I'm going to say is watch this space. And yes, right. Look, Jim, would you reach out to John and ask John there if he would come on? Maybe next week, if we would come on some evening next week to talk about why that it is that John says that the Paras are not criminals. They're painted in absolutely the wrong way. So if you could do that for me, Jim, or maybe George there also could do it, or some even Billy that works in the background there. Just John, would he like to come on and talk about this? So I recommend your show today, John. Let me just see this. I recommend your show today, John, as someone was saying not enough was being done to highlight SAF, that's Southeast Fermanagh Foundation. Yeah, look, again, I'm going to make a request to Kenny Donaldson also to come on and talk about things, to talk about the unfairness that we see developing right before our very eyes. This unfair system that is happening, it just beggars belief. It really does. So again, people, I'm going to say thank you very much. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for supporting us. I didn't, I mean, I'm just going to go after the hour. There's roughly 10 minutes here to go. And I wanted to come on just to say to people, to show people that the social media giants are not treating us very, very fairly. So we're going to find a way of trying to dispute this. And if we can dispute it, I mean, if the link does work, or if we can't do it that way, we'll try to do it another way. And we'll see, can we get some sort of recompense for what it is that they're actually doing to us. So I'm going to go to, I mean, leave your messages on the live chat. If you have anything to say, if you have any things that you can actually advise us to do, or any shows that you want to see us, doing at some point in the future, well, we'll only be too happy to do them if they're in support of British unionism here in Northern Ireland. And again, I say that our British unionism means no one any harm. Our British unionism, I mean, what do we want? We want to be treated fairly. We want to be treated with respect. We don't want to be treated like second-class citizens. We don't want to be discriminated against. We want the same democracy as the people in England, Scotland, and Wales. We don't want a border in the North Channel. We don't want to be separated from our brothers and sisters right around the United Kingdom. And we don't want to be unfairly treated at the behest of the EU and forced and agitated for by the Irish government. And whenever we hear Nolan this morning actually talk about, also Jeffrey Donaldson has come out and he has said that he says that he's going to break off all contact with North-South bodies. Yeah, I mean, that would remain to be seen, by the way. And we'll watch that space with a hawk-like eye. And tomorrow the DUP actually, I mean, they have a poll within their own party. 36 people votes for either Jeffrey Donaldson or Edwin Poots. I've said it before, people, is that Edwin Poots would be my preferred, even though that Edwin Poots has done some silly, bizarre things in the not too distant past. I believe that I mean, I always say this, is that Edwin Poots never ever told us any lies. He's always brutally honest with us. Okay, that he may not have told us everything, and some of the things that he did with regards to the protocol, it wasn't really fit for being a British unionist. It wasn't consistent with being a British unionist. But we may have a different DUP under the leadership of Edwin Poots. So again, whilst that we would watch, we would wait, and we would see, and we would see what's on offer, and we would see what promises are forthcoming. Whilst we would want to do that, and within the next few days, all I can say is that we need British unionism together. We do need a strong leadership within British unionism. We need people that are going to do what they say. We need people that are going to stand up for the rights of British unionists here in Northern Ireland. And we need to do so in a way that we are open and inviting to other people. We need to do so in a way that people can see in a clear way, in an open and transparent way, that what you see is what you get, and what they say is actually what they do. So that's what I'm hoping that we get from the DUP under the leadership of Edwin Poots. I wouldn't hold my breath for getting that type of leadership under Jeffrey Donaldson. So let's just see the way that things actually play out, and we'll see that can we forge this people-politician partnership in a way that a committee of people would actually feed into what it is that our political leaders do. Now, again, I know that that's a tall order, and I know that a lot of people don't trust the DUP, and how is it that we should trust the DUP after what it is that they did last year. But if we can get undertakings from some of these people as to where it is that they're taking us, and where it is that they're not going to go, and where the red lines are, and where that our absolutes are, well, if we can get that, well, we have a new beginning to British unionism here in Northern Ireland. And it's that new beginning that I'm actually hoping for. And that remains to be seen. Let's see what happens also next week. So, and I'm going to say again, is that we do need all British unionist parties here in Northern Ireland. I know a lot of people say that we should be going down the line of one unionist party. Well, look, again, that's going to be a very, very hard thing to do. Yes, we can unite the various factions around a shared set of principles which are designed to defend and protect and enhance British unionism. We can't do that. That is totally doable. So let's see where this goes. And yeah, there's good soundings at the minute that we may actually be able to do something good next week. And it'll not happen before next week. So listen, people, thank you very much for coming along. So message sent, John. Brilliant. Thank you very much. There's Jim has sent a message on to John Ross, and they say, John Ross, we know John Ross. I don't know whether there's any restrictions on John as a result of him being in the TUV now. But again, we're going to see, is he happy enough to come on and have a chat, and we'll soon see. So again, yeah, I mean, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for everybody to be disbanded. They're looking for Boris Johnson to stand at the dispatch box and say that that the British government, the British Army came here and they shot everybody and they sent everybody, putting them all in body bags, and the way they went home again. And they're very, very sorry for the time that they spent here in Northern Ireland. When in actual fact, there was the biggest battle over 3 days, that one of the biggest battles that ever happened in Northern Ireland, and the two communities were that close to civil war. And that's the truth. That is the absolute truth. And if it hadn't been for the army and the security services who stood in between those people, well, there's a lot of people that wouldn't be here today, and there's a lot of people's parents that wouldn't be here today. So for that reason, and none of these people seem to be taking into consideration that this is what the British Army done here in Northern Ireland, that they actually did save a lot of people. So yeah, I'm just looking through here. I'm looking through, John. If I said I wanted to the whole of us, that of us would be banned. John, if I said what I wanted, yeah, there you go. I know that, Lindy. Yeah, I mean, we have to refine our words. We have to make sure that our words are used in a way that we don't actually get ourselves banned off these I don't know, communistic type platforms where they demonize and they diminish anyone who supports their national identity and anyone that wants to stand up for British unionism here in Northern Ireland. So Belfast Agreement, I'm just going to read this here. Belfast Agreement and Tony Blair, that's how the government got away with it. The powers even gave the prods a good beat, and we took it. Never ever believe a politician. Yeah, absolutely. Like, I mean, the powers actually, I mean, they shot people on the Shankill Road. And, again, this is the way that it was, it happened. There's a saying that the snakes crawl at night. Yeah. Thanks for letting me know about last night. Yeah, no problem. Jackie, thank you for coming along. And again, look, we're going nowhere. What we're going to do is that we will actually begin setting up this independent. We said it a few weeks ago, but we know that the writing's on the wall. We know that we have to set up this independent platform, and that we know that we have to have our own website, our own server, and we have to be able to put our videos and whatnot into it, and from there things can be actually shared, and in a way that these social media platforms would have actually no bearing on what it is that we do and what it is that we produce and what it is that we continue to tell for and on behalf of British unionism here in Northern Ireland. So we have to do that, people. We do. So again, I'm just going down through the live chat as we go. If the brave 13 men close the gate, now here you go, Eddie Barry, well said. If the brave 13 men could close the gates and take a fight to them, I'm sure we would give it a go. Yeah, give it a good go. Absolutely, Eddie. Absolutely. Listen, we're not going to this so-called New Ireland. We're not. And I know a lot of people, just like me, that are not going there, and I can tell you that for a fact. And we're definitely not going there. That's all. I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying, is that we're not going to have our democracy removed unfairly. We're not going to be swindled into this so-called New Ireland. It's a socialist republic is where they want us. And, if you live there right now, it's not a nice place to be. It's really not a nice place to be if you promote your national identity. So John would have enough of those 500 rifles in the Republic that made their way to Bali. Yep. So absolutely. Now there's just a snippet of something that we're going to be talking about, within the next few days. So if you just read that there, what would have happened if the 500 rifles from the Republic had made their way to Ballymurphy that day? And then the Irish government are cheerleading that the big bad Brits, the big bad powers, the big bad British Army, and the Irish government. They are responsible for a lot. Believe me, a lot, and they talk as if their hands are clean in all of this. And what I'm saying is that if that's what they want, if they want to trail everyone, if they want to trail everything out into the open, well, maybe this is what we should become involved in. Maybe this is what our political parties should become involved in. Maybe this is what's needed. If this is what they want, well, we really can't lie down and let them literally demonize and diminish good people here in Northern Ireland. And am I saying that if there was innocent people shot at Ballymurphy that was right? Well, no, absolutely not. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is there's a two-tier justice system. There's a two-tier policing system. There's a two-tier democracy. There's a two-tier set of rights in terms of that whether you're discriminated against, whether you're respected. There's a two-tier system right now, and British Unionism are not on the right side of that two-tier system. And and it's being fought for, it's being pushed, it's being promoted by those that would like to be with globalization, and it's being cheerleaded by the mainstream media, the activists in the mainstream media. And look, we're well capable of fighting against these people. And and if you're a nationalist, if you're a Catholic, if you're an ordinary Catholic, an ordinary nationalist, you don't like the EU, you don't like what it is that's happening in the Republic of Ireland right now, who don't like what some of these people are prepared to sell you out to, what you should do is that you should be doing what we are doing, but on your side of the fence. And in that way, well, together we are strong. Together we are strong fighting against this, because globalization wants to consume each and every one of us. And, and how dirty is that system when what you see is that they can actually silence people's voices, that they won't let the voices get out, that they, if you're trying to stand up for your community and stand up for common sense and stand up for the difference between right and wrong, if you're trying to do that, well, you're being curtailed right now. If you're prepared to work with this, if you're prepared to go down their line, if you're prepared to believe everything that it is that they tell you, well, you'll be allowed a voice. That's just how things go. So, people, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play us out with I just came here for an hour. I came here to talk about how the social media platforms are actually curtailing us, how that it is that we won't be defeated, how that it is that we will move on. And what we will do is that we will actually, we'll create an independent platform. We'll create a place whereby the people will be able to come anyway. And, it takes money to do that. It takes investment to do that. And no one's helping us with any funding. And again, I'm speaking to groups within British Unionism. If you think that we do a good job, and if there's any way that you think that you could help us, give us a helping hand, to be the voice of British Unionism here in Northern Ireland, to fight tirelessly for and on behalf of the people, to point out corruption, to point out bad law, to point out where spin, swindle and fudge would be happening, to show how that the House on the Hill is occupied by the biggest criminal gang in Western Europe. If you would like to help us do that, well, that's all we're asking, is that you get behind us and you help win our sales, and we will work tirelessly for on behalf of the British people here in Northern Ireland. And I think you know that by now. So I'm just going to, again, for new people that just came to the screen, I'm going to play a little video, and then what we're going to do is we're going to play us out. Now, I'll come back and I'll say my goodbye, and we'll play us out with a few patriotic songs. So here's something, this is the type of things that we've got up to in the past. And again, I would ask you to watch this very, very carefully. I'm just going to take that, what Jim said down. You see, I'm just going to take this down off the live chat for 2 seconds. Right, okay, so I wanted to play this video and let people hear it properly. So, this is something that we want to up our game in. We want to be doing more and more and more of this. We want to be doing more doorstepping people. We want to be doing vox pops. We want to be doing, we'll get out and we'll do surveys and we'll get people's opinions and we'll be able to promote our own facts and figures and statistics as to how many people actually believe what we believe, and so on and so forth. And how many people, I mean, they engineer things in a way that it makes you look as if you're being beat, but you're actually not. We are the silent majority, and you make no mistake about that. We are the silent majority. So here we go.
It's the residents.
The residents here. There's no one lives here. Is this where Simon Coveney and whatnot would come to?
Who am I speaking to?
Right, well, you see, we're unionists, basically, right? We run a citizens' journalism. This is what we're involved in, a thing called Restore UK. Right. And, we've just been told that this is the Department for Irish Foreign Affairs. And I'm just wondering if this is somewhere that I can drop a letter that Simon Coveney would get.
Well, your best bet is to drop it into the British Irish Secretariat.
Right, okay. Whereabouts is that, love?
40 Linnenhall Street.
40 Linnenhall Street, yeah.
Second floor.
Right, okay. But this isn't the building. I mean, we were given this information that this was the Irish Department for Foreign Affairs. Is that right?
No. It's not, no.
Is this not to do with Ireland, this place? I think it is, because we know people that's been here in meetings.
Yes, yeah, I mean it is, I suppose you could say, but it isn't a department, it's not.
Right, so who would be here under normal circumstances?
Nobody from the government.
Nobody from the government, okay. Right, fair enough. No, again, we're just wanting to know, again, so, yeah. Well, look, I mean, if I were to drop a letter in here, could we get it to Simon Coveney? And all we wanted to do is we want to invite him on our show, basically, to come and talk to British Unionists. What we think that he's not really taking into consideration British Unionist concerns over this protocol.
Yeah,
do you know?
Well, no, absolutely. Your best bet is the official office is 40 Linnenhall Street, second floor.
Right, okay.
It's the British Irish Secretary.
We'll drop it there. But listen, thanks very much for coming out. And look, I hope I didn't disturb you or anything.
No, you're great.
Not meaning to. Thank you very much now. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Again, I'm just going to pop this up from JJ Jones. Yeah, absolutely. My hairdresser into the barbers today, got it cut, and that's the first time in a while. I mean, I've been cutting it myself, and then I couldn't actually get an appointment. So there we go, people. So again, that's the type of thing that we want to be able to do. We want to be able to, we really put a notice on that door to tell people and to show people that that's an official Irish government building. It's just off the Malone Road in Belfast. And, that's the Department for Irish Foreign Affairs. That's what it's known as. And again, what we did is that we, did we expose it? Did we show it? Because we believe that if those people are in Northern Ireland, if those people are there, the Irish Department for Foreign Affairs, see, what are they doing? Is they're reaching out to people here, they're persuading them against us. I mean, you can see that those people are hostile towards us, where they want a border in the North Channel. They want to separate us from the United Kingdom, and that's what they want to do. So, that's a foreign power here to destabilise Northern Ireland. They're hostile towards us. So we thought that it was only right that what we did is that we would expose where that it was that they actually were. So, and we did it with, we did it. So there you go. And, we can do these things and we're not afraid of them. We can work tirelessly for and on behalf of British Unionism to do that type of thing. So again, I ask you that if you can ask your friends, again, we've popped up the link's there. And if anyone can help us, will help us to get this independent platform built. And, I would so much love to employ a few people to do this on an ongoing basis, and to help the politicians that want to help us to tell the good stories from within Northern Ireland, to tell the bad stories, to expose those that would do us most harm, to go out and tell the good stories from within the communities, to help promote things and to help show that British Unionism isn't backward, isn't how the media would actually try to dictate. I mean, what do they say? They say that we've no history, we've no culture, we've no nothing. we are nobodies, is what they say. You know, if you listen to those people, yeah, if you listen to those people. So anyway, yes, that's what we want to do. So again, there you go, Bob. When you say that the channel is actually growing, well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do is I'll play another little video here, a little video clip, and I'll go and I'll get some stats here for a second, and we'll come back and we'll actually talk about it. So just stay where you are. Don't go anywhere for a moment or two. And what we'll do is we'll come back on the basis of what Bob Campbell has just said there. So I'm just looking for a song. I'm looking for a song. I'll tell you what we're going to do here. We're going to play the man himself whilst I go looking for something. So over to Big Jimbo to sing us a little song.
From Belfast Lough, she stood and watched her sons and daughters roam to far-off lands across the sea. They left their native home, but now she called them back to her from all the world around. It's time you came back home again, back home to Belfast town. So lift your eyes across the sea and wish you're homeward bound. For though you may be far away, your heart in Belfast town. The joy to be back home again, with every sight and sound. This is the place your heart belongs, your home in Belfast town. Now you may think she's old and gray and scarred by bomb and gun. She sometimes bowed her head and weep for her divided son. But now she's fresh and bright and new, embracing all around. Be proud to lift your head and say, I come from Belfast town. So lift your eyes across the sea and wish you're homeward bound. For though you may be far away, your heart's in Belfast town. The joy to be back home again, with every sight and sound. This is the place your heart belongs, your home in Belfast town. Be proud to lift your hand and say, I come from Belfast town.
There you go. That was Big Jimbo, and that was while I was away getting some things. And again, this is for Bob. I mean, there's something like 9,200, nearly 9,300 people on the Restore UK Facebook page. And I mean, there's 9,600 people that actually follow it thereabouts, and maybe even a wee bit more. Didn't look at that properly. Now, we were growing at a phenomenal rate And then, we were curtailed just a few weeks ago. And I believe that we are actually shadow banned. And I believe that the only reason why they were getting out is people here are tagging people, and people are actually sharing it out to their friends. And some of our background team are sharing it into the closed groups. So that's how that we're actually getting an audience right now. And, a few weeks ago, we went from, maybe achieving numbers of maybe over 3,000 and whatnot. At the end of every stream, because it's shared into all sorts of live groups, what we actually do is that we collate the numbers through the software that we have at the very, very end. And, if you just have to look back at some of the videos in the Restore UK, you'll see that, they're reaching maybe 3,500, 2,800, so on and so forth. But then all of a sudden, just last week, we had the worst night ever. And we had another bad night. I mean, I think we only reached about 500 people, because that's how that social media giants can do. If they don't like the message that you're putting out, they can actually curtail that people can't even really see your platform. So that's what happens, people. That's what happens in social media world. But you just have to keep finding ways of getting around that. But getting around it, that you're not breaking their community standards. So yes, what I want to say to you, Bob, is yes, people will be able to see this on the YouTube channel this evening. Absolutely, it'll be, once we finish, it actually logs and it goes up there, and also on some of the Facebook pages here, it'll be here too. So someone had just asked about the letter to Simon Coveney. I've never actually got to read the letter for Simon Coveney out on this channel. Yeah, so again, we'll maybe copy it off again, and we'll get it posted again to that area. Now, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I was actually going to slide on there just a bit early, but maybe I should read the letter, Simon Coveney's letter. I can read it to people, but what I have to do is I have to actually play something. I'll have to dislodge myself off the camera to be able to get the content of the letter that went to Simon. So if you just bear with me for a second, I'll do that. We'll play a tune, and then what we'll do is we'll come back and we'll read the letter, which was written for Simon Coveney, and maybe we'll get another copy out to him, just to tell him what it is that we think. So again, I'll play this song, because I know that it'll go for a wee bit, and what it will allow me to do is it'll allow me to do what it is that I have to do to find this. I'm just going for this. Where is it? You got to excuse me. That many videos on here, and unless you're actually, there it is there. Right, we're going to play this song. We're going to come back and we're going to read the letter for Simon Coveney. So if you just bear with me.
My country like the flag I fly, and I will love her till the day I die. Bound to each other we will always be, I and my country for eternity. When my future takes me from my past, and for the shores of home I'd give my last. Stand me in waters in a peaceful sea, that's when I know she belongs to me. I shout from the mountains high, I belong to her, I belong to her. Let no man ever doubt that I am hers till the day I die. shout from the mountains high, I belong to her, I belong to her. Let no man ever doubt that I am hers till the day I die. I am my country like the flag I fly. I will love her till the day I die. Bound to each other we will always be. I am my country for eternity.
Right, people, if you just bear with me for a second or two, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be able to, don't want to address this now. I want to be able to read this. Dear Mr. Coveney, I am writing this letter on behalf of Restore UK and with the backing of many in the wider British Unionist family in Northern Ireland. We are regularly told that dialogue is the way to solve problems. We believe wholeheartedly if a problem exists, it's best to talk to those that can solve such problems. We would like to extend an invite for you to engage with grassroots British Unionists in Northern Ireland for a discussion reference the unpalatable situation we find ourselves in and the very real hurt and anger is felt within the British Unionist community. At a time when relationships were building between some in our community and the Irish establishment, we are saddened to see these relationships at an all-time low. We have identified as aggression by members of the Oireachtas. The final straw for most British Unionists has been the imposition of the Northern Ireland Protocol, removing our right to democracy and placing us in an unpalatable circumstances whereby we find ourselves separated from our brothers and sisters in the rest of the United Kingdom. And by extension, we are the victims of outright discrimination, having our absolute right to democracy denied. We see the protocol as an anti-democratic annexation of Northern Ireland, which has done more to set back the prospect of reconciliation between people in Northern Ireland than anything in our hate-filled past. The majority of British Unionists believe the implied threat of violence from Irish Republicans conveyed to the EU and British government by your colleague and former Taoiseach, Leo Varadkar, has potentially irredeemably damaged relationships between British Unionists and the Irish government. We also believe the same implied threat of violence is solely responsible for pushing the United Kingdom government to make the catastrophic mistake of allowing Northern Ireland to be segregated from the rest of the United Kingdom. As the Minister for Foreign Affairs and Minister for Defence, we believe you are best placed to listen to our concerns, helping rebuild bridges and to hear the genuine concerns, grievances that British Unionist family in Northern Ireland hold. I would like to invite you to appear as a guest on Restore UK Live in order to establish if, as an impartial guarantor of the Belfast Agreement, you understand the absolute need to ensure fairness and equality when dealing with Northern Ireland question. Our live broadcast can be facilitated remotely at a time of your choosing. We do hope that you can join us for a respectful discussion, which will include questions from a live chat. I look forward to your reply. Yours sincerely, John Yates, for and on behalf of Restore UK. So there you go. That's the letter for Simon Coveney. And we must get another copy of it done and get it off again. And we'll see. We'll actually put it to a few places this time, and we'll see can we get it delivered. In fact, I know some people that might actually be able to also deliver it right to the DAO, the Oireachtas, we'll get that done too. So we'll up our game along those lines. So I hope that you understood what it was that we were saying there in the letter, and I hope that you approve, because let's face it, we were writing that letter for and on behalf of every British Unionist here in Northern Ireland, and we're looking to have Mr. Coveney come on here to explain to us why it is that he thinks that he can make or he can designate British Unionists second-class citizens, having lost their democracy and being discriminated against. So there you go. That's what we did. And we'll get that again. We'll get it out there yet again. So people, thanks very much for coming along. As I say, we only came here for an hour. We're here for an hour and 25 minutes right now. And I think there's only one thing left to do. We're going to see you all next week. Just to recap, we're going to see you all next week. We have some people working in the background, and what they're doing is they're laying out the circumstances surrounding what it was that happened in this so-called Ballymurphy massacre. And, let's just give you a taster. Let me just give you a taster. The Shankill bomb, as I say, was a massacre. Le Mans was a massacre. The Abercorn Bar was a massacre. All of those places. Darkley was a massacre. There were plenty of massacres. But you see, Ballymurphy, let's just give you a little taster. Just a little taster. I mean, is the White Rock, the top of the White Rock Road, Ballymurphy? Ask the question. Kingsmills was another massacre. But you see, if you look at the Ballymurphy massacre, again, all we can say is the top of the White Rock Road, Ballymurphy. I don't believe that it is. I really don't believe that it is. So we're going to lay things out bare. We're going to show a lot of the things that was going on in and around that time. We're going to show the fact that there was many buildings, and there's pictures of them, of buildings being literally peppered with gunfire up in the Spring Martin area. So again, and then we'll look through some of the claims, and we'll actually show in a conclusive way that there was a lot more going on than what the coroner had found out, and what the victims of this, the victims' families, to do with the Ballymurphy. I mean, they went and they done their own research. They said that they went and they rapped doors and they got people that knew what went on and knew what had been seen, and so on and so forth. So again, there's two sides to that story, and there is a huge portion of that story that actually isn't being told right now. And that's not to demonize the fact that if anybody lost their lives and they were innocent, well, everyone should, how do I say this? Well, here's how I'm going to measure this right now, is that there was a Belfast Agreement. And I don't agree with what happened in the Belfast Agreement, where a lot of the most, gruesome murders and gruesome murders that ever happened here in Northern Ireland. Well, there were people that were let out of jail after spending a very, very short period of time. Sean Kelly, the Shankill bomber, being one of those people. When he was let out on license as a result of the Good Friday Belfast Agreement. And then there were also people which are in receipt of the on the run letters, the letters of pardon, the Queen's pardons, and they effectively have immunity from prosecution. And whilst these terrorists, whilst they have immunity from prosecution, and whilst the Belfast Agreement had permitted the circumstances whereby that effectively the IRA have an amnesty, that's the truth of the matter. Well, you see, I believe in fairness. I believe that if that is the way that things are going, and if the IRA's victims are never going to get proper justice, then why should anybody else get justice? Why should British Army, people who came here to serve and protect the community, why should they be penalised? That's the truth. That is the truth. And if we're either going to prosecute everybody, and we're going to look at every single crime, every single murder, every single aggression, we're going to do that, or we're not going to do anything at all. And that's how I actually see things. So there you go. Thanks very much for coming along. And yes, Eddie Kingsmills was a huge one. And to add insult to the injury to the Kingsmills families. Well, there's two things I'm going to mention about Kings Mills, and that is that there's a play park in Newry, and it's Raymond McCreesh Play Park, and he was caught with a weapon that was used in the Kings Mill massacre, because that was a massacre. That's when 10 innocent people were taken off a bus and they were gunned to death, so they were. And I heard it said that what they did was there was a different gun for every person, and they used Kings Mills as a way to blood a lot of young people into the IRA. Now, that is a story that is doing the rounds, and that is something that we must actually find out about. And then there was something else happened with reference to Kings Mills, the adding of the insult to the injury to those victims. And we don't hear all over the media, and we don't hear it in the dispatch box how vile and how sick that this was. Who remembers Barry Michael Duff placing a Kings Mill loaf on his head on the anniversary of the murder, adding insult to the injury? What vile excuse for a human being would do that? Well, we know that he belonged to a vile excuse of an organisation that, and that organisation, whilst they have immunity for prosecution, well, whilst they have that, that there isn't fairness, and we shouldn't be listening to anything that's coming out of that media today. So anyway, people, thanks very much for coming along, and what we will do is that we're going to play us out. So leave your messages on the live chat there, and as I'm playing us out with this little song, or a little song or two, what we'll do is that we'll pop up the messages on the live chat. Thanks very much, and if you can help us, please help us create this platform. And again, if everybody put in a few pound, well, it makes it light for everyone else. And it means to say that everyone's not sharing the burden, and it's our platform. It's our platform. It's a platform for the people, for and on behalf of the people. And in the coming weeks, what we're going to do is we're going to be seeking some good guests to be coming along. And as I said before, we're going to be telling the stories of the characters from within our community. And a message to Anne and Billy is that I didn't actually get the message of what you'd sent until actually last evening, because of where that it was sent, but I have it. And look, we'll talk to you about Tuesday, and hopefully we can get something done, and we can maybe go up and take note and maybe film some of what's going on. So that's to Anne and Billy Dixon. So thanks very much for reminding me of what it is that you're doing. So people, thank you again for coming along. And what we're going to do now is that we're actually going to play us out. We're going to play us out with two things. We're going to play us out firstly with this little Ulster Scots song, basically, and just explaining what the Ulster Scots done and where the Ulster Scots actually came from. So we'll do that, and then we'll play us out with Hands Across the Water. So thanks very much, people. Continue to leave the messages on the live chat, and we'll pop them on the screen as we go. Thanks very much.
just across the Irish Sea, stirs a heart of loyalty, raising honor and indignity, drives the will to keep us British free. Not alone are we on this journey, for in a land just across the sea is a hand that reaches out in friendship, and a bond that's lasted centuries. And its hands cross the water, reaching out for you and me, for Queen Ulster and for Scotland, help to keep our loyal people free. Let the cry be no surrender, let no one doubt our loyalty, reaching out to the brave red hand of Ulster is the hand across the sea. Cross the water, reaching out for you and me, for Queen and Ulster and for Scotland, help to keep our loyal people free. Let the cry be no surrender, let no one doubt our loyalty, reaching out to the brave red hand of Ulster is a hand across the sea, just across the Irish Sea, stirs a heart of loyalty, raising honor and dignity, drive the will to keep us British free. Not alone are we on this journey, or in a land just across the sea. It's a hand that reaches out in friendship, is the hand across the sea, is the hand across the sea.